Black Captain denied cockpit access. Black Captain Marcus Thorne found his path to the cockpit blocked. "I need to see some ID," stated Diane, the flight attendant, her voice unusually sharp. His first officer, Michael Chun, was already inside, unaware. Marcus, a veteran pilot with 23 years of experience, had shown his credentials twice. This wasn't normal at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Passengers boarded, their eyes drawn to the unusual scene. Diane insisted on protocols, needing to confirm with the lead flight attendant before allowing him access. With only 32 minutes until departure to San Francisco International, Marcus felt the familiar sting of being treated as an outsider. He pulled out his phone. "That's fine," he said, dialing Franklin Pierce, the airline's chief operations officer and a longtime mentor. "Franklin, it's Marcus Thorne. I'm being denied access to my cockpit on Flight 1297. The lead flight attendant wants additional verification beyond my airline ID, pilot's license, and uniform." The next 24 hours would expose uncomfortable truths within the airline industry that a day begins differently. Marcus's day had started normally in his Marietta, Georgia home. He left his wife, Serena, and kids, Maya, Spelman College sophomore, and Elijah, a high school junior dreaming of flight, still sleeping. His father, James Thorne, a black man whose own aviation dreams were cut short in the 1960s, had instilled in Marcus, "You fly for both of us now." At the airport, Marcus greeted security staff who knew him. He met Michael Chun, his co-pilot, and they shared easy camaraderie. The pre-flight briefing went smoothly. Weather was good. The Boeing 787 had no issues. Marcus noticed Diane Reynolds' slight hesitation and narrowed eyes when he introduced himself, a reaction he'd learned to expect. A brief detour to retrieve his logbook from the crew lounge meant Marcus arrived at the gate as boarding began. Stepping onto the aircraft, he immediately sensed tension among the huddled flight attendants. Then, Diane stepped forward, blocking his path. "I need to see some ID." After Marcus's call to Franklin Pierce, Diane's phone rang. Her face drained, and she wordlessly stepped aside. Michael, inside the cockpit, looked confused. "Just a minor misunderstanding," Marcus said, settling in. But the misunderstanding wasn't over. As they prepared for pushback, a different flight attendant appeared at the cockpit door. "Captain Thorne, there's a situation. Ms. Reynolds is refusing to fly with you as captain. 2 other crew members are backing her." A crew conflict meant significant delays, even cancellation. Marcus asked to speak with Diane. She appeared defiant. "My concern is safety," she asserted, claiming she'd never seen him before and questioned his credentials. "My credentials are verified and valid, as airline management has now informed you," Marcus stated firmly. "I've been a captain with this airline for 14 years. Are you and your team prepared to perform your duties, or should I request replacement crew?" The standoff was brief. Diane stiffened. "We'll continue under protest, but this will be reported." Marcus agreed, as it should be. The flight was technically smooth, but the cabin atmosphere was thick with tension. Passengers noticed. Marcus and Michael completed their checks in silence. "You said this was a Tuesday?" Michael finally asked as they neared San Francisco. "Does that mean this happens regularly?" Marcus explained that while this exact scenario was new, variations on the theme were not. "When was the last time you were asked for additional ID after already presenting your airline credentials?" Marcus asked. Michael couldn't remember. The incident goes viral. Unbeknownst to Marcus, a first-class passenger, tech executive Jason Martinez, had filmed the initial confrontation. What he captured was undeniable: a black captain in full uniform being barred from his cockpit by a white flight attendant. By the time Flight 1297 landed, the video was viral. Marcus sent a factual message to Franklin Pierce. As he finished, Jason Martinez approached the cockpit. "Captain Thorne, what happened this morning was unacceptable. I've never seen a pilot treated that way." Marcus maintained his professional demeanor, but Jason was firm. That wasn't a procedural clarification. That was something else entirely. He'd already contacted customer service and would follow up with corporate. Later, at an airport restaurant, Franklin Pierce called Marcus. "Marcus, we need to talk." How quickly can you get to our San Francisco offices? In the downtown high-rise offices, Marcus was met by Franklin, the general counsel, VP of Flight Operations, Director of Cabin Services, and a woman from Corporate Communications. Elaine Woodson played Jason Martinez's video, now on national news. "This has gone viral," Franklin stated. The general counsel assured Marcus the airline took the matter seriously. The crew members were removed pending investigation. But Marcus pushed for more. "I'm less concerned with company statements and more interested in concrete actions." Ms. Reynolds and her supporting crew members created a hostile work environment. Franklin revealed that Martinez alleged Diane said Marcus doesn't look like any captain I've ever flown with. "Are you surprised?" Marcus asked the predominantly white leadership. Elaine presented a joint statement for Marcus to sign, framing the incident as miscommunications and procedural misunderstandings. Marcus refused. "This isn't accurate. There was no miscommunication. I was prevented from accessing my cockpit because of what I look like. This statement is asking me to participate in pretending otherwise. The division already exists," Franklin, Marcus asserted. "The question is whether the airline is finally going to acknowledge it and do something meaningful." Marcus demanded a clear statement acknowledging discrimination, a review of unreported incidents, and commitment to training and cultural changes. While the executives initially resisted, Marcus held firm. Back at the airport, Michael met Marcus. Their Seattle leg was reassigned. "Is it because of this morning?" Michael asked. "If so, that's completely." Marcus gently cut him off. "It's complicated, Michael, but I appreciate your support." That night, Serena told Marcus the news was everywhere. Elijah was upset. "The world isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean we stop trying to make it better," Serena told him, reinforcing their family values. She was proud Marcus refused the weak airline statement. Marcus knew he couldn't let them brush this under the rug. A text from Jason Martinez warned of the second video, with more damaging audio. Diane clearly saying, "I don't care what ID he has, he doesn't look like he belongs in that cockpit." A turning point. The next morning, the airline issued a dramatically different statement, acknowledging discriminatory behavior, announcing Diane Reynolds and her supporters were terminated, and committing to diversity and inclusion training. Franklin Pierce personally called Marcus to admit they got it wrong. The story exploded into a national conversation about racial bias in aviation, highlighting that only 3% of U.S. commercial pilots are black. Other black pilots shared similar experiences. Marcus suddenly found himself at the center of a national conversation. In a widely viewed news interview, he explained that while the physical blockade at the cockpit door was new, being questioned and doubted wasn't. "It's not an isolated incident," he said. "It's just the first time it was caught on camera." He called for real change in how airlines recruit, train, and promote diversity, encouraging young Black Americans to consider aviation. "The sky belongs to all of us, and the cockpit should reflect that." The interview's impact was immediate. Social media flooded with messages of support. Parents thanked Marcus for being a role model for their kids. Elijah, Marcus's son, felt inspired. Franklin Pierce, a senior airline executive, texted Marcus with unexpected news. A task force on diversity and inclusion was being formed, with Marcus as a special advisor. Other airlines pledged to follow the task force's recommendations. The next day, while flying home as a passenger, Marcus was met with cheers from airport staff. The airline upgraded him to first class. During the flight, the captain publicly acknowledged Marcus as the very best of our profession. Back in Atlanta, Serena, Maya, and Elijah welcomed him home. Maya said her college professors were already discussing his case in civil rights lectures. Elijah, still considering a future as a pilot, asked, "Will I always have to prove myself?" Marcus put an arm around him. "Every barrier that falls makes it easier for those who come next," he said. "Your grandfather couldn't become a pilot. I still face people who doubt me. Maybe for you, it'll be better. And if it's not, you'll stand your ground." 3 months later, Marcus, now chair of the Diversity and Inclusion Task Force, presented their findings at company headquarters. Data showed 78% of minority pilots had experienced bias, but awareness was growing and commitments to change were taking shape. His recommendations included better training, fair recruitment, and accountability. Franklin Pierce approved every proposal. After the meeting, Asa Johnson, a young black cadet pilot, approached Marcus. She admitted she'd almost quit after hearing about his incident, but now felt determined to stay. "One day, I'll make captain," she vowed. Marcus smiled. "And when you do, hold the door open for those behind you." At a family dinner that night, Marcus raised his glass. "To my father, my family, and everyone still waiting for their chance to soar. May skill and courage, not bias, determine who gets to fly." Elijah, now applying to the Air Force Academy, summed it up: "People don't just think about flying when I say I want to be a pilot like my dad. They think about standing up for what's right."